A few months ago, I made a video about weird things that Americans do that nobody else really does. And I figured, since I am from Sweden, I live in America, let's not just talk bad about America, let's also talk about a few things that I find to be negative about Sweden. So, here we go. Number 1, mosquitoes. Since about 70% of Sweden is covered in forest, yes, 70%. And a lot of those forests are located around lakes. Since we have close to 100,000 lakes, I think that's the perfect combination for mosquitoes and bugs who just want to swarm around there. And I've never been a fan of going camping in Sweden, and this is one of the reasons why. But now that I'm such a big fan of going camping here in California, I think I'm ready to finally give Sweden and its camping grounds and, you know, all the cool camping sites a chance. Number 2, we are spoiled. We are definitely spoiled. I didn't realize that though until I actually moved out of Sweden. And I lived in a place like America where things aren't always easy. Obviously things can be hard in Sweden too, but I know that foreigners tend to kind of mock Swedes for complaining about the little things in life, but I've realized we do it because we have it so good over there that we don't have any major things to generally complain about. So now that I've lived in another country and I've seen what they don't have that Sweden does have, it makes me frustrated too, but it personally drives me more nuts that Swedish school students complain about their school lunches. I personally loved the food we got at lunches in school. I never understood it when my friends and other students complained about the sauce being too runny. Whatever it was, they just hated the food that we got. It was never good enough for them. But we had an amazing menu, free of charge. I think it's from like 1997 it was free. I don't know if parents had to pay it before then. I mean, you gotta remember, there are countries in this world where kids go to school and get a bowl of rice, or they get nothing, and they're supposed to be okay with that. So I can give some examples of what kind of food I got to eat in school when I was growing up, and this was before I was a vegetarian. So we got like spaghetti bolognese, Mexican soup, which is so good. I think it's called like minestrone soup, maybe? Oh, there's this white fish. Is it cod? I don't know much about fish in English, but we got that with this like egg sauce, and so good, and potatoes. And to drink, you got milk or water. Just regular milk, no chocolate milk. And there's always this spread of vegetables. We're talking like salads, tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, broccoli. And then also we have knäckebröd, which is like a crisp bread that you put butter on, and that was it. So if you didn't love the food that day, you could always choose that. I mean, if we got apple juice in school as a kid, like in Sweden, I was stoked because that was a treat. You only got it if it was maybe Easter and the lunch ladies cooked up a nice traditional Easter lunch for all of us, and I don't see the point of giving kids such a sugary drink for lunch every day and giving them that option. Like, how is that good for their health? How is that good for their teeth? What's the point? And this is where it drives me crazy that Swedish kids actually have the audacity to complain about their lunches. I just hope that if you are a Swedish parent and you hear your kid come home from school and complain about the food, I hope you give them a reality check. I don't care which school they go to, I can bet you they get good food. And what drives me crazy too is that I saw recently a review on a website of my old grade school where a student had given the school 1 star out of 5 because the food just sucked and this is a sucky school and yada yada yada. So that means that kids are still complaining about it over there. And I can tell you right now, the lunches are even better now than when I went to school. I found a menu from 2020, before the pandemic started, that someone posted on social media. Not just vegetarian and vegan options, but you also have options that are adapted to your religion. This is what they get, right? On Monday, you get a broccoli gratin or spaghetti bolognese. On Tuesday, you get a lentil casserole or a kebab with a garlic sauce. Or on Wednesday you get to choose pasta puttanesca, or breaded fish like dill mayo, and I'm sure rice or potatoes on the side as always. On Thursday they get a vegetable soup, which since it's vegetarian, everyone can eat it, so they get that one option. What's also nice is that when we got soup in school, you always got soft bread with it, with butter and cheese. Fridays, you get a vegetable patty with couscous and tomato salsa if you're vegetarian, or chicken and cream sauce with boiled potatoes. Like, doesn't that sound like the best menu ever? And kids complain about this? Like, I can't. Oh. Number 3. You need to know at least basic Swedish to be employed at most jobs. My friends and family members back home in Sweden are shocked when they hear me tell them this, that it's going to be quite tricky for Nick to find a job unless he knows at least basic Swedish, because pretty much everyone in Sweden is fluent in English. It's one of the most English speaking countries in the world. Like, it's one of the best ones. We know English so well. It's quite rare now that someone above the age of, 60 or I think even up to 70 doesn't know English, or at least basic English. And then people say, oh, well, within IT, and computers and stuff, we have people all the time that speaks English, and also customer service, but those things don't fit Nick at all. Shouldn't Nick get to choose a job that he enjoys to do? Because right now, Nick does not enjoy his American job at all. That's one of the reasons for why we're talking about moving to Sweden, so that he can have that option. Because in Sweden, education is free, and he can go to school for whatever he wants. He doesn't have to pay a huge amount of money to do that. But he doesn't want to work with IT stuff. He doesn't know anything about computers. He doesn't care about technology. He would go crazy sitting down at an office doing customer service stuff. We'll suck it up then, you gotta start from scratch somewhere, blah blah. No. You shouldn't have to lower yourself and lower your standards just because you come to a new country. Nick should not have to settle. Nobody should have to settle for a job that they don't like. He's already doing a job here in America that he doesn't like. Just like people who come from other countries end up being like a cleaning lady in Sweden because they just don't know the language that well. They might have a lot of skills and a lot of knowledge that we could really use for something good. Like, have you thought about how many people in Sweden actually use English all the time? We use English slang, we use English curse words. I'm sure we can get by just fine. Number 4. This is not necessarily a weird thing, it's more of a cultural one. People tend to isolate themselves and stick to themselves or the people that they know since before. And I'm guilty of this too. In general, it's not a bad thing to just be a homebody wanting to stay at home or stick to the group of friends that you know since before. There's nothing bad about that. But we have to look at it from an outsider's point of view and how hard it is for immigrants to make friends then because of the way we act and behave in Sweden in that way. I do think it's gotten better throughout the years, I gotta say. Swedes are opening up. Swedes love America. It's like a love-hate relationship, but we secretly, it's kind of like we dislike the really negative parts, but we also really kind of want to be like America and Americans. A part of us are jealous of how outgoing Americans are, and we think it's really fun and we want to be more like them, so we're really trying. There's a reason for why like every YouTuber who talks about Sweden says this. It's because it's true. Okay, my cat is pushing on the camera. There's a reason for it. We're not making it up. It's because we've been to other countries and we've seen how it works there, and that's the case. We're just more of an introvert country, and that's okay. It's okay. I know some people get so upset when I say this. They're like, no, but I talk to the cashier at the store. I'm like, well, good for you. But a lot of people don't. We just stand there awkwardly and like, I like it when the cashier talks to me in America. I like it. In Sweden, it happens more and more whenever I go there to visit, and I love that. I think it's great. We're opening up, finally. It's about time. Now, luckily, I'm not worried about Nick. If we ever move to Sweden, he's so social and he's super out there, so he's just gonna force you to be friends with him. And it makes me happy to know that there's not just Swedes in Sweden who wants this and who are willing to open up that we can make friends with, but also people who moved from other countries to Sweden. who are travelers, who want to get to know everyone, and there are Americans there. We can totally make friends with all of those people. There are Facebook groups called, like, you know, Americans in Sweden and whatever, and you can find thousands of people there, and I can guarantee you that at least some of them must live close by to you, because Sweden is not that big of a country. Last one is definitely a downer. Senior citizen homes in Sweden. The only grandparent I have left now is my grandma, who stays in a very, very good home, great staff, you know, they get treated very well. Can't complain about it. But in general in Sweden, I see way too many headlines and articles where I see way too many senior citizens and elderly people who get treated really bad. I often read about them not getting enough food, so maybe a relative came by to visit and take a picture of the plate of food that this person, you know, whoever they're visiting is getting, and it's like 3 meatballs and a potato, you know. Or I've read so many times that someone has been left in their room and not been checked on for several days, which is crazy. Like, they should be checked on several times a day. And they've been there, like, laying there in their own diaper, you know, for days at a time, or hungry, or confused and scared and sad, and it's just terrible. It should not happen, and I don't know why it keeps happening. You know, the staff is definitely overworked and underpaid, but so are teachers, and I never saw those kind of crazy behaviors at the preschools in Sweden when I worked there. So I don't understand how this can even happen, especially when there's supposed to be several staff members on each, you know, floor, you know, of the building where they're working. I don't understand, like, how 3 or 4 can miss checking in on one person. I don't get it. It's not. There's no excuse for it whatsoever. It's abuse, and it's a big problem in Sweden that I hope is being dealt with accordingly. I don't know why I said that that was the last one. It was not the last one. This is the last one. November. I'm sorry to say this because this is my husband's birthday month, but November sucks in Sweden. Sorry. It's no longer Halloween. There's no Thanksgiving in Sweden. There are no colorful leaves on the ground anymore. It's too early for Christmas. The trees look dead and boring. Most places have not gotten snow yet, and if they did, it probably melted already. The sky is gray, and the days get darker faster and faster, like the sun rises later and later, and it sets earlier and earlier. All you have to do every single day is to go to school and go to work, and that's it. This is, of course, when we gotta take charge of our lives and make life extra cozy, but damn, it's hard. No wonder we all go crazy on December 1st. We just go, okay, it's Christmas. Let's celebrate Christmas. You know, we celebrate Christmas all of December in Sweden, and I love it. It's just a part of our culture, and maybe it is because November is such a dreadful, boring month, so we just go all in. So yeah, that of course was a bit of a downer of a video, but I think it's stuff that's worth discussing. Twigs, do you want to say goodbye? No, she doesn't.